Hey everybody, Dawn from Glory Grace Farm, and today is the chicken tractor video. Finally got it finished yesterday. Took more than the 20 minutes I thought it would take to finish. It was pretty much another all day, just doing things by hand, not having the equipment that you wish you had but hope to one day have. That can affect how long it takes something to get done, but I will walk you around it and show you what's going on. As you can see, here's the side, and the door kind of makes it hard. This green is a $75 replacement greenhouse frame from Amazon. We decided to go with it instead of trying to do a traditional hoop house with PVC and everything. We thought maybe it would be sturdier and I think less expensive and easier in the long run, maybe more sturdy, because it does have the where a hoop house is just going to have these, unless I build with 2x4s the side frames, it's just going to have hoops, and then I'm going to have to figure out everything else. This has this top bar here and then another bar down there to attach to, so that was just less weight and less money. Sorry, the ladder's still inside of it. Less money being spent on something, for $75. That would be the, PVC plus the 2x4s plus the weight that it would add having extra 2x4s. This just has the 2x4x12s on each side, 2x4x8s, which are cut down to 7'3" because this is internally 7'3" wide. I may have it spread a little bit wider than what it's supposed to be. I think it's 12x7x7 when you do the measurements. But I repurposed the hardware cloth off of the trampoline ring that my old video has that I made last year. And that's where the little doorway comes in. This area back here is going to be for the new chicks. And if you can see under the board there, they will be able to get under the board and escape from the big ones and hide back here in their own little area. I've put about a roll of, I believe it was 24-inch wide, to put the skirt around the sides because my hardware cloth only went to this bottom rail, so I had to have something to finish out the bottom. So we got the chicken wire 25-foot roll, 24-inch wide, and that's the skirt on the sides. Then of course we've got the tarp. The chicken wire goes all across the top. I didn't like how it turned out. I had to piece it because it was wider than what the sections were, and my hands just can't handle that much cutting with my crappy cutters that I have. Arthritis stinks, y'all. But I didn't let it stop me. I just went ahead and did with it, and then when one of these days we replace it or rework it, then we're going to get either cattle panels, which I'm afraid will add more weight. More than likely I will get hardware cloth that is just a bit wider than each section, which I believe they are 4-foot sections, so it'll still overlap but hopefully be sturdier in the case of overlapping, and go from bottom to bottom. Wrap it one piece, get a 100-foot roll to make sure I've got plenty, and go from 2x4 all the way over to the other 2x4, and do that for all 3 sections, and that way it's one uniform piece instead of where, like up here, I have 2 of these kind of sections where you can tell the door's kind of in the way. I've got the top piece and then the bottom piece, and so I've had to zip tie. So this thing is made up and held together literally with approximately 300 zip ties. But zip ties worked for my trampoline ring, holding it together, holding the bird netting on. I never got a predator in the year that they were in that, so I'm just going to trust that they're 75-pound strength zip ties, so hopefully they will hold up and be strong enough. This is the back end. This looks down here at the bottom like there's going to be a problem, but it is reinforced on the inside, which you can't see. I don't know if I can. You can, okay, there you go. You can see the little 2x4 section I've got in there with the metal support, and this board is screwed to that 2x4 to keep it from pushing in or from pushing out. And the tarp folds all the way down on the back. I was a little short on this side. I plan on trying to get a new tarp so that it's, especially for winter, but I want it to stay drier for the summertime rains and things, so I will probably get a new tarp that's longer that will hopefully go from side to side, because I'd like for all of this to be enclosed and protected from the wind and the rain. It definitely will be, like I said, for winter time. That you can sort of see where their little roost is for now. And then this side's just like the other side. Got the icky piecing job I had to kind of fold and get things to work right, because it's just, I wish I'd started at the front and went to the back instead of from the back to the front, but it worked out, I guess, okay the way I did the front. I'll show you. And hardware cloth, I just prefer hardware cloth on the bottom. I don't trust chicken wire on the very bottom because of my dogs getting loose. If they were to get loose, they would head straight to the chickens because they were not raised with them. They're older than the chickens are. They've been here longer, so they just see them as something to play with. Where my cats have been raised with the chickens, so they know, hey, those are not snacks. But because this turned out kind of ugly on the front, you can't see it because I did manage to get it hidden. I had enough of the lattice to put on the front panels, and on the door, I don't have a thing to put my door in, but it'll help reinforce the door a little bit, plus makes it look pretty and matches the, I don't want to turn sideways because I don't mess up the camera, but you can see the door in there, and that hides it, because that, like I said, that was the kind of good thing about going from the front to the back. When I got up here to the front, this piece that I had to section, you know, fix this side, it went all the way to the ground and then up and over and all the way to the side. So it was able to wrap around because it was a wide enough piece. Sorry for the loud vehicles. It was a wide enough piece that I was able to come all the way over and do the whole front of this section with the same piece of chicken wire. So this up here on the top is like a crazy mess of folded over chicken wire that thankfully is hidden by the pretty lattice, except for that it's dirty. I tried to wash it off, but I didn't have any soap out here, so it didn't really work very well. But the top is fully enclosed on the front. We folded it over. We've got it stapled in. These are what took me forever to do. It's those little fencing staples that, oh my goodness, if you don't have needle nose pliers, you won't have fingertips left. But I have needle nose pliers, so I finally was able to start using those. I had a whole box that I've never used because I couldn't manage to hold them still because I didn't have the proper equipment. But one of these days, my goal before this year is over for projects like this is to have like a pancake air compressor and a pneumatic nailer stapler. That's the plan. But you got to do what you got to do. Okay, I've got my middle board. That's the support for going down here, and that way in the winter, if we think that we might get some snow, we can cover the whole thing, whole ceiling in tarps, and then I can stand some kind of either a PVC or a 2x4 from the pole to the crown of to the peak of the tractor, because it's, you know, it's got all the joints and things. These are actually put together with like a dual screw that slides through the middle post, screws into one pole, and then screws into the other pole. The hooks are some old like hanging planter hooks that I had, and I'm going to try, I don't have any chain right now, I'm going to try hanging my waterers from those. That way when I need to move the chicken tractor forward, I can just pull it without having to come in, get the waterers, go back out, hook it up, pull it. You know, they'll just be hanging and they'll slosh a little bit, I understand that, but it'll be better than nothing, having to go in and out. But this board, of course, is the board to keep the big girls away from the little babies as they're growing, because they'll be able to go under, and the big girls hopefully won't. I've got to test it out because the bigs are going to come in here first. The littles are still going to be in their brooder in the greenhouse for a few more days. This is the roost up here. Totally temporary. It was a lightweight piece of plexiglass that I had that I couldn't use for anything else. It had like this paper. It was old. It was given to me, and it had like this paper. Had never been peeled off of it, so it was like super glued to it, and the weather has slowly started making the paper come free, but I don't have a pressure washer or anything to finish getting it off. So I thought of it, and it was almost long enough, but I had to use a couple of boards on each end just to finish closing off the section. And then I'm going to put shavings up here, and this will be the nighttime roost. This will be just to hold the shavings, hopefully, from them kicking them off constantly. And I still got to finish getting my little bits and bobs picked up. And then I'm going to fix this tray. I'm pretty sure I can get it slid under the wall. And I'm going to put the chicks' sawdust or shavings in it that they can bed in it at night, if I'm not able to get them in and out and, you know, put them in a crate or whatever at night and everything. But they're growing really quick because I got them after they'd already been at Tractor Supply for a while, so they're, you know, they've got almost all their feathers in. They haven't got their head feathers yet. There's Mr. Oreo. Hi, Mr. Oreo. But this is the chicken tractor, so I'm going to be trying to get it in place. There's the old one. I moved it today with the truck. It's about to fall apart, so it will not be reused. It'll be reclaimed. I'm going to take it all apart, and we'll just save what's worth saving and then throw away the rest. I knew it wouldn't be a forever thing because I only had like particle board, wafer board, whatever you call it, where you are, for parts of it. So I knew it was not going to hold up to the weather. But ants have like completely taken it over, and it's just falling apart. So as I tried to move it, it just slowly started falling more and more apart. But at least I got it out of the way for the garden bed, because the chicken tractor will go straight here where all this tall grass is. I'll show you the patch of dirt where the old one was. It's so sunny today. I hope this shows up good. This is where the other one was sitting. So we've got to get all this grass here all eaten down to the ground, scratched up, fertilized, and then continue. We'll move all that stuff from the chicken coop, get it all moved out of the way. It'll go there, and then it'll go where the really tall part is and on over. And this will be a big rectangle here for the garden bed whenever my dad can come and get it plowed. I only want to plow this year just to get it kind of worked together with this good dirt here, get it worked into the rest a little better. If I can buy a couple of more bags when he comes to plow, and get it kind of some compost and stuff to where he can plow it into the dirt. That's my hope. EPB brought me some more wood mulch, so it'll be having to break down. It's fresh, smells so good, but it's too strong to use on the garden this year, so we're going to put it in some places that we want stuff to die off, and then just let it be ready for next year, or possibly for the winter garden. If it looks like it's broke down enough, I'm going to try to keep it stirred up and help it speed it along on the breaking down process. That's our old mulch. That's incredibly sticky, and in the sense of lots and lots of sticks in it. As it's broken down, more of the big sticks are like coming to the surface, and it's just awful. It was from a tree trimming service. I don't even remember which company here in town, but I was excited. They were like, hey, we see you've got mulch. Do you want some more wood chips? And it's like, sure. And no, not so much. But because it's going to take a lot of work to make it usable. So it's probably just going to go in some places to maybe help with washing from heavy rains. In places I want to try to build the land up and just let it break down on its own and not really use it for a garden. But that'll be if I can get a front end scoop or something to move it around from place to place, because it's quite a bit. It was 2 full loads. I've still got to finish my pine tree pruning. That'll be today. We're going to hook up the pole saw, chainsaw. It's electric, so I'm going to run the cords down here to it and finish it up. It'll be a lot faster and easier on everybody. We're all kind of getting wore out really fast from our long days of trying to get stuff done. With physical issues, pain issues, you can push yourself too hard and think, I gotta get it done, and then you're down for 2 or 3 days because you've done too much. There's my beautiful little pear tree. I'm gonna actually get the sun on it. It's got several little babies, so I think I'm going to try to root those and keep the strongest one here in the middle as this tree, and then take all those other ones off and see if I can reroot them. Some people call it cloning. I just call it rooting. I'm hoping I can get them to take, and that'll be 3 more, possibly 4. There's a real tiny little, I found it when I was moving the mulch around. If it can perk up, I fertilized it and gave it some of the mycelium water to help it. So let's see, let's go check out. I finished cleaning all my tools up. There's Mr. Smokey. Hi, Mr. Smokey. From where we've been working and getting the tractor done. Go in here to the greenhouse. Look, okay, y'all. I have no idea what this is. It's really pretty. They look like angel wings. But then they have these other leaves. And I thought they were some sweet potatoes coming up, because it was where I had sweet potatoes last year. And I thought I had some little volunteer sweet potatoes coming up. But they don't look like these sweet potatoes. So I don't know if some sweet potatoes have a different leaf, or if these are just some kind of weed. But there were several of them starting to come up. There's some more I pulled up to save just in case they are something I want to keep. So if you know what that is, let me know in the comments below. This is on Facebook. If you're watching it on Facebook, same goes for you. Just let me know in the comments if you know what this plant is, because I have no idea. It may just be a morning glory or something. I know they're similar. That's the sweet potato family, is the morning glories. So if I don't need to keep them, I want to know so I can just check them. And if they are something good, then I'll keep them. Okay, this is the last seeds I started just the other day. And look, y'all, I got some stuff coming up. Some straight neck squash. Some of my 8-ball zucchinis are coming. Got something landing on my glasses. I got some other little tiny sprouts coming up that are the bush squash, but I'm not sure if that's what that is or if that's something else that's sprouting in my dirt, but it's fresh dirt, so I don't know what kind of sprouts it would be. But y'all, my tomatoes have took off. I have sprouts in every bag but one. So I may throw some seeds in there today to see if I can get something happening, because that's the only one that doesn't have any growth. Thankfully, my San Marzanos and Amish paste finally started putting out. So yeah, I'm gonna have to be doing some thinning out for too long, which is fine with me. I don't think this is gonna do anything. It doesn't look like it's gonna live. It's where I was trying to start some new plants from the tomato trimmings the other day. I planted a mango in here. We'll gonna see what happens. I don't know if it'll come up or not. And then I planted some pomegranate seeds in that one to see what would happen. Oh, I hear turkeys hollering. Got to get more of my dirt sifted out. I've got another bag to put in there. A little bit more earthworm castings in it. Probably a little bit more coconut coir. And get some more seedlings going since we're getting close to the garden. And look, here's the babies. Gotta have the baby chicks since we're in the greenhouse. Yeah, babies. Everybody's doing good. Not had any problems, no losses. I know I only got 6, but sometimes bad stuff still happens. But they're just chilling. Cats have been behaving. Smokey was in here laying on top of them the other day, just like I'm babysitting. So thankfully they're not trying to get after them. So I think they know from their mama they're not supposed to. I know that wind is strong. It was super hot in here, so I did go ahead and open both ends of the greenhouse up. I found this. I don't know how many of y'all have seen the Up cart. It's like real expensive, but I wanted one because it had the wheels that would go up steps, and sometimes when I'm having to carry groceries in by myself, it's like it would be super helpful if I had something like this. I've tried using a different kind of, it's like a luggage carrier roller thing, but it only has single wheels, and so they get stuck on my steps. So I can make it to the end of my steps, and then I have to carry everything up the steps. But this is supposed to be like the Up cart, and you can see it's got the special wheels. I haven't put it together and tried it yet. When I do, if I like it, I'll let y'all know. I found this one at a little discount store. Or no, let's see, let me think. No, this was at the Sears outlet here in our town. And it was regular $39, the advertised price, and I got it for $19.99. It comes with the little gray bag on it, so you can take it like to a flea market or a farmer's market or whatever you want to go to. So I'm excited about getting it together, trying it out, especially for when I have to tote groceries. So it's about that time, I guess. I need to be getting busy. Got lots more to do. Got to get my chickens brought out so they can be out in the sunshine again. Yay, they're just like waiting. I'll look in there at them and they'll be sitting up in the window looking at me like, hey, we're ready to come back out now. So it's about that time, y'all. Oh, one more thing. Look at this. We've been wanting one of these, and Mom finally found one that we could pay payments on, but it's not like an interest deal where we're having to pay extra. It was just a place where we could get payments. And she can comment on Facebook how she got that, because I'm not sure the details of it. But I'm super excited. I think it was through Amazon, and a payment plan that you can get through them that's kind of like rent to own, but there is no interest. But it's a walk behind trimmer, field trimmer, so that we can, you know, go out and weed eat around our trees and around the fence line and the edges of the yard that we can't get to with the mower and everything, because like I was saying earlier, we have different health issues. Both of my sons have some different issues with pain and not having a lot of strength to last over time. So weed eating, toting a regular weed eater, it can be really hard. It's something we're working on, you know, building up stamina and things like that, but it's a process. And, you know, especially when you're coming out of a time of illness, not feeling well, you know, it can take a toll on you and everything. But like with Blake, he has arthritis issues and other pain issues. He has balance issues, so it's just not safe anymore for him to be trying to tote a weed eater that he has to carry around, when we know that he is prone to just sort of fall over from time to time for no reason. And no, we don't know why yet. The doctors that we went to said it wasn't MS, because it was it all started about the time that MS starts showing up in people, and then, you know, his insurance ran out, and so we haven't been able to go any further than having nerve testing and MRIs and stuff that didn't show any clue to what was going on. So we just deal with it, and we are, you know, he functions to the best of his ability. He's been really pushing himself out here hard, working and trying to help me, and he'll work a little while and he'll sit down and rest, and I'm just super proud of him. And same goes for Tyler. Sean's been out here, my nephew, he's been out here helping. So we've just all been doing an effort and trying to get this place cleaned up and beautiful again and ready to walk in the promises of God and, you know, be a blessing. You know, the Bible talks about not being a borrower, but being a lender. I don't want to even be a lender. I want to be a giver. I want to bless people. I don't want to ever think that they have to give it back to me or repay me. You know, more than a hug or a handshake, that's good enough for me. So that's the plan. You know, we want to get this garden going, grow some vegetables, get some fruit trees going that will have fruit. You know, it's going to take time. It's going to take some years until we can get, you know, like the new apple tree, which is doing really well. It's growing right there. But it's a process, and whenever you come out of a time of lack financially and lack with your health, you know, moving forward takes time, but you just take, you know, one step at a time, just one day at a time. You do what you can do when you can do it. And like I said, sometimes you push too hard and then you're down for a day or two, and that's okay too. You know, don't give up. I am 45 years old trying to start a farm because of this crazy God thing that I feel in my heart to do. And I told Mom the other day, you know, mentally I don't feel like a 45-year-old, but physically I feel worse than that sometimes. And I'm just praying that God helps me to get stronger and you know, renews me like the word says. That's my prayer and everything, is to renew my youth. You know, give me back the time that I've lost through being a caregiver and being focused on things inside the house and not being able to focus on the things outside the house. Because I know there's been neglect of the things outside my house. Partly because I didn't have the equipment to do, partly because I didn't have the strength to do. You know, as a single mother and a caregiver, you know, the times of illness with Mom and helping her get through and helping her get better while taking care of my kids. And then taking Sean in and giving him a home when he needed a change and being here for him. And so it's like, you know, I just feel this urgency that now is the time. Now is the time to push. Now is the time to try something new. Now is the time to move forward in doing what I can do to make the steps toward what I feel like God's laid on my heart to do. You know, I can't do a lot of it until He provides, but I can get a start on what I can do until He provides. And so that's what we're doing, a little bit at a time. Because this is my promise to Him, that I'm going to do what I can do. I'm going to do my best. It's not about works. That, don't get me wrong. I've been thinking about, people would think I'm thinking of works, you know, that I'm saved through my works. No, I'm saved through grace, because I ask Him every day to forgive me of any sin that's in my heart. But it's going to take work to do this farm and to do the ministry that I feel like, you know, with all that's within me, that He wants me to do. And so that's what I'm going to do. My late blooming Chinese dogwood. It's just now putting out, and they have like green blooms. But I'm trusting in Him. I'm believing in Him with my whole heart. And I'm going to try my best to start doing the Sunday videos again, where I didn't keep going with that. I don't have a place inside that I can sit down and video and not be interrupted, or not be hearing somebody through a wall playing a video game or talking or watching a TV show or laughing or whatever. I don't have a place inside for that. So we have a small house with paper thin walls. And so when I make a video, I have to come outside to do it. And then still sometimes somebody will walk out and want to have a chat, not realizing that I'm doing a video. So it's just, I'm thankful for you guys that do watch much. I'm thankful that you have subscribed. I may only have 18 subscribers right now, but I feel so blessed to have those 18 people that care about what I have to say. And I pray that you're watching a journey that's going to amaze me and amaze my family, but that it's going to amaze and build up a faith in everybody who sees it as it happens. Because as God begins to pour out, trust me, everybody is going to see it, because I'm going to show it. And it's not going to be shown to boast by any means, because I'm coming from a place of, just getting by. So when God begins to pour out His favor and His blessings, it's going to be shared to everybody, because I know there are more people like me and my family who you've waited, on promises from Him for years. And you've known with everything that's in you that promise was Him. It was not your imagination. It was not somebody else's, thoughts off the top of their head. That it was from the heart of God. And you held on to it, and you've claimed it, and you've believed it, no matter what the circumstances looked like. Because you knew in your knower, as we say here, that it was God. And I know in my knower that God has laid this thing on my heart. And He allowed me to meet a beautiful woman in a Publix produce section who I had never laid eyes on in my life. Sorry, we got a lot of cars again. But all I wanted to do, I just felt this urgency to just go talk to her and ask her about kombucha, because we're new to using kombucha. Hey y'all, you need to try it. My indigestion is pretty much gone after just a couple of bottles of kombucha, just drinking it a few times a day, not a whole bottle at one time. Anyway, so I went to talk to her about it because I saw she was buying some, and I thought, well, ask everybody I can. I did know that she was probably a woman of faith because of her modest attire, head covering and things, and so I knew that she was a woman of faith and everything. So that excited me, of course, because you love meeting fellow believers. And I just started sharing my heart with her, and she just outright told me, I'm here to tell you that I'm your confirmation. You're not crazy. You're not